Okay, so when we talk about AI, we're really talking about two fundamental types of models that pretty much shape everything we see. You've got the creator, the artist, and then you've got the classifier, the critic. Today, we're diving deep into the difference between generative and discriminative AI. Let's get right into it.
I mean, you've seen it all, right? These unbelievable images, text that sounds so human, it's spooky, maybe even music that was composed entirely by an algorithm. And it all leads to this one big question. How? How on earth does a machine learn not just to analyze something, but to actually imagine it? Well, we're going to unpack that right now. So first up, let's meet the artist of the AI world, the kind of model that literally builds new realities from the ground up, generative AI.
At its core, generative AI is all about creation. It's not just looking at existing data and sorting it. No, these systems are designed to generate brand new, totally original content. We're talking text, images, music, you name it. It's not just copying. It's synthesizing something that has never existed before.
And I guarantee you've run into these models out in the wild. You've got tools like ChatGPT that can write an email for you, and amazing image generators like DALL-E or Stable Diffusion that can turn a simple sentence into a piece of art. These are the big names, the stars of the generative world.
Okay, so the big question is, how does a model go from just processing a bunch of data to creating a masterpiece? What's actually going on inside the creator's mind, so to speak?
This right here, this concept of underlying distribution is where the magic happens. It sounds technical, I know, but think of it like this. Instead of just memorizing a million photos of a cat, the AI learns the essence of what makes a cat a cat. It learns the patterns, the relationships between pixels, the probability of shapes and textures. Once it understands that deep structure, it can generate a picture of a cat that's completely new, but it still feels right because it follows all those unwritten rules. And all of this is powered by some really incredible tech. You've probably heard of transformers, which are just amazing at understanding context and language. Then you have diffusion models, which are wild. They start with random noise and slowly sculpt it into a crystal clear image. And of course, GANs, which have this genius setup where a creator AI and a critic AI compete, pushing each other to get better and better.
All right, so we've met the artist. Now, let's flip the coin and talk about its counterpart. The expert judge, the analyst, the model that has been the backbone of AI for years. Let's meet the classifier.
Discriminative models are, well, a whole different breed. Their job isn't to create anything new. It's to make a sharp, accurate judgment about something that already exists. What they're really doing is learning how to draw a line in the sand, a decision boundary, to perfectly separate one thing from another.
You see, their goal is incredibly focused. Just put things in the right box. Is this email spam or not spam? Does this medical scan show a problem or is it clear? It's a precision decision-making machine, and honestly, it's been the workhorse of the AI field for decades.
Okay, so we've got the creator and we've got the classifier. Let's put them side by side, because that's where the core difference really becomes crystal clear.
This chart just nails it. Generative models learn the entire recipe, how the data is made, so they can go and bake a brand new cake. Discriminative models, on the other hand, just learn how to tell the difference between a cake and a pie with incredible accuracy. One creates, the other categorizes. It's that simple. And here's probably my favorite way to think about it, the animal analogy. A generative model is like an artist who studies thousands of animals and then can draw a totally new creature that looks plausible, even though it's never existed. The discriminative model is the expert field guide who can just glance at an animal and instantly tell you, yep, that's a cat, or that's a dog.
So let's pull this out of the theoretical and into the real world. Why does this distinction even matter? Well, because these two types of models have very different but equally critical jobs to do.
Generative models are fueling this massive creative boom. They're helping write marketing copy, they're composing music for films, they're helping scientists design new molecules for life-saving drugs, and they're even helping developers write code faster. They're becoming creative partners in almost every industry.
Discriminative models, on the other hand, are kind of the silent guardians of our digital world. They are the reason your email inbox isn't a complete nightmare. They're helping doctors spot diseases in medical scans. They're protecting your bank account by flagging fraud. And they power the image recognition that unlocks your phone. They're the critical decision makers working behind the scenes.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, what we have are two incredibly powerful tools. And while they have their own unique purposes, they're both building towards a single, much smarter future. I really love this quote because it boils everything down to the fundamental question each model is trying to answer. Generative AI is all about understanding the deep structure. What does this data look like? While discriminative AI is laser-focused on one thing, the label. What category does this belong to?
So at the end of the day, it's not about which one is better. They're two sides of the same AI coin. In fact, some of the most powerful systems, like the GANs we mentioned, actually make them work together. A creator and a critic, pushing each other to get better. To build truly intelligent systems, we absolutely need both.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you can see the clear difference between the creator and the critic, which one do you think is going to have the biggest impact on your world, on your job? The answer might just surprise you. Thanks for joining this explainer.